Hey guys, today we're going to be covering 4 different yoga poses that are going to be beneficial for surfing, especially if you're a beginner just getting new to the different movements in surfing. This is a great way to build strength so that when you're out in the water you'll be ready to go. A couple of things, you can grab a strap if you have one. If you don't, a towel would work just as well, and a block. With the block you could use instead maybe a stack of hardback books. It's a good option. There will be a link in the description below for the products that I like to use just to make it easy for you. So let's go ahead and get started on our mats. I'll see you there. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So coming to your mat, let's grab our strap to start. We're gonna get working right away. So I have mine pretty long currently, but I would say, find your hands either on your towel or your strap about shoulder distance apart, because we're actually gonna find it behind us. So once we're here, you can come to your knees. You can sit on your knees if you like. I find I just have a little more space to kind of move around when I'm up here. We're going to think of rolling the shoulders back and down, opening across the chest, and using the strap to pull apart while we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. Really, really squeezing, and then we'll let go. Relax. While you're here, maybe drop the chin to the chest. Maybe the left ear to the left shoulder, roll the chin back to the chest, finding the right ear to the right shoulder, and back to center. Let's find that again. So coming back up to your knees if you like, rolling the shoulders back and down, really squeezing the shoulder blades together. We think of lifting the arms away from the torso while you're pulling apart with the towel or the strap. Really think of like puffing your chest up and out. Ooh, set that down. Chin to chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Chin to chest. Left ear to left shoulder. And back. Let's do one more. Last one here. I'm already hot and sweaty from this. It's good. It means we're working. So again, rolling the shoulders back and down, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then really pulling apart with the hands. Okay, for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. From here, go ahead and set the strap aside. Coming to hands and knees. Then from here, just to get a nice stretch, let's walk the arms forward for puppy dog pose. The forehead can rest on the mat. Hips stay lifted. And then planting the palms. Let's make our way onto our bellies. Once you're here, shoulders are over the wrists. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Elbows squeeze in. Tops of the feet press. We're gonna find Cobra Pose. So lifting the chest. Again, finding that action of squeezing the shoulder blades together. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Forehead to the mat. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it out. Take one more like that. And out. Let's find that again. So rolling the shoulder blades back and down. Lifting the chest, squeezing the elbows, squeezing the shoulder blades, pressing the tops of the feet. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Nice deep breath in and out. One more time, in and exhale. Last one here. Rolling the shoulder blades back and down, really squeezing, lifting, lifting, lifting. See if you can lift even a quarter of an inch more. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. And then from here, let's press back to child's pose. Knees are nice and wide. Big toes together to touch, rounding through the spine. Let the forehead come to the mat. And just take a couple breaths here. Alrighty, let's come on up to our shins. You want to have your block close by for this. We're going to find a pose called Malasana, and everyone kind of can approach it a little bit differently. It works a lot on ankle flexibility and on hip mobility, so you got to kind of play with what you got, which is why we have the block just in case. So some people can get into this pose easy peasy, it's not a problem. Other people, they have really tight ankles or Achilles, so their heels are going to be really lifted, or their hips are super tight and they're like, I can't get any farther than here. So there's some mobility stuff going on. Thing that we like to start, let's start this way, let's start standing. So I like to find my feet wider than hips distance. I point my toes out, because I want to have some space for my knees and my hips. So think of my knees kind of shooting straight out over the toes, so if I even have to adjust a little more. And then from there, sinking down. So this might be perfect for you, might feel great. It might feel like it's way too much in your hip flexors, way too much in your ankles. If that's the case, coming to a seat on your block can help take a little bit of that tension out of the equation. So we'll find our way here. Just hang out here for about 10 breaths. So again, if you thought you were good without the block, maybe reconsider if you can't hold it here for about 10 breaths. So we're here. And one thing I do too is I bring my elbows to the inside of my knees and use that as a little bit of leverage to press, kind of open up more through the groin area. Just a couple more breaths. Let's bring our hands to our mat and really, really nice and slow. Think of leading with the hips to come up all the way, straightening through the legs. Maybe straightening out the feet. And then from here, we're gonna find Skandasana. This is our fourth pose for the class. So for Skandasana, kind of similar. You can start in Malasana, this yogi squat as we call it, but this really deep squat, right? You can start here, and you can bring the right leg out. And again, your block may come in handy because maybe you want to sit it under your right butt. So then you still get some hamstring stretch, and you still get some of the mobility and the hip flexibility here, but maybe it's not as intense. Another option for Skandasana, I do like the really deep variation because that gets me a nice stretch. But another option is to be more like a half squat, which kind of will just burn out your legs. So if you can find a little deeper variation, but still using muscle strength to kind of resist the ground, not just sinking into it completely, can be really, really beneficial. And then we'll bring that foot back in, coming back to Malasana, and then we'll take it to the other side. lots of hip pops, and that's always a good thing. I always love when my hips are popping. It's not necessarily a bad thing at all. Just a couple more breaths. So with all of these poses, especially the first couple, I think 3 is a great number to start with in terms of repetitions, but as you get stronger, you may want to start to up the ante a bit and talk about that. Or even with our, coming back to Malasana here, but even with our Cobra, we can start to amp that up and make that a little bit stronger so that we gain more strength, use our arms less, that kind of thing. With these stretches for the lower body, you can stay in them between 30 seconds and a minute, and that'll be perfect for you. But coming out of Malasana, let's make our way to a child's pose, and we'll just close there. So take about 5 breaths here on your own to finish class. And then nice and slowly, we can come up to a seat. Thanks so much for practicing with me. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if you liked this video, give it a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.